Okay, so recently we rebuilt the power steering pump in this Toyota FJ, and today we're going to change what's called the intermediate shaft. What happens in this intermediate shaft is it rusts up and it starts to bind, and it makes you think that your power steering pump is bad. To start this procedure, we're going to jack up the vehicle and take off the driver's side wheel. My name's Clay with YouTube Thenewclayway here in Grand Rapids, Western Michigan. Please consider subscribing, clicking the notifications, sharing my videos, give me them sweet old thumbs up, and always keep in mind that if anyone else can do it, you can do it too. Don't be the next to them, be the first of you. Hey, think about things this way. If you have to pay somebody $400 or $500 to do this job, and you're able to do it yourself, being that you have the ability and the time, that's money in your pocket. So help me with a little bit of money in mine. Click the super thanks down below, and if you can't do that, just at nighttime, turn the volume down, put the videos on, let them play from front to back while you're sleeping the night away. If you've got a question for me, I answer them for absolutely free on Clay's AC and Auto Repair over the Facebook Messenger. I can't help you with the baby mama drama, but I can probably help you fix your whip, even over a text message. I do it for free because people don't abuse it, so there may be a time that I'm not going to be able to do it any longer, but right now, you know, I do the best I can to help you folks out. Let's get on with this video. After I took off my 6 21mm sockets, I can't get my tire to pop off, so I'm just going to turn around and I'm going to donkey kick it on this edge and this edge. That was a little bit tough to get off even after the donkey kick. So what I did was I went behind it with the rubber mallet, popped it off. The centering ring on the front hub gets a little bit of corrosion in there from the aluminum, so you can spray a little bit of penetrant on there. All right, so now we got this opened up. This stuff is just dry rotted and gonna crumble away. Most of it has no elasticity, but you just pop them little poppers out. Now the first thing that we notice is that we need to get this off of here, and then down here at the bottom, as we can tell with our new part, we have a bolt that we need to get out of there. Moving down right through here, we can get easy access to the other bolt, securing it to the bottom here. We just need to turn it and orientate it in the correct position. Looking at this collar, no matter what you spray on this, you're probably gonna break these bolts. I don't think it's necessary to replace the sleeve itself, but you more than likely may have to replace the nuts and the bolts that are on here, which are not included, at least not included with my shaft. So before we disconnect anything, we want to make sure that we keep our steering wheel as straight as possible. Inside the steering wheel here is what's called a clock spring and a steering angle sensor. It registers where the location of the wheels are in connection with where the steering wheel is. When we take this shaft off, this steering wheel is going to want to flop to the left or flop to the right, and you won't know which direction it went. So what we're going to do is we're going to use some bungee cords to hold the steering wheel to the A-pillar, handles right here, one on each side. Then that way we don't have to worry about our steering wheel going too far off center. The nice thing about that being straight is it puts our bolts right straight up right here. Now with that steering wheel straight, it also points this bolt down here by the knuckle in the straight up position as well. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to remove these two 12mm bolts. Now I know the bolts are going to break and I know I'm going to need new ones, but I'll give you the thread size, the length of them and everything when I get them out of what we're going to replace them with. Now this is a 6-point socket and this is a 12-point socket. You want to use the 6-point socket. Do not use the 12-point socket, especially if they're rusty like this. You may even have to take a hammer and tap it onto the bolts if they're rusty like this. Now, me personally, I used a very long extension to give me the leverage to use my long ratcheting wrench to break these bolts loose. It was up inside here. I couldn't get the kind of leverage necessary to break the rusty bolts loose. Now I've gotten this one top bolt out from up here. I could knock that off the shaft, but before I do, I'm gonna turn the shaft and open it up. Now turning the wheel to the 7 o'clock position, if this is 12 o'clock, you're gonna turn it to 7 o'clock, and then allowing it to lock gives you the ability to get on that bottom bolt. Okay, so I have my extension ran up through there like that. I have a 12mm wobble socket on it there like that. I've got my ratchet up there like that. And I've still got my wheels pointed at the 7 o'clock position. Just so you know, all 3 bolts holding the shaft on are the same length, size, thread pitch. Now, we've got this pointed towards us, and there's several implements that we can use. Personally, I'm going to use an air hammer to separate this part and pull it down so I can release the shaft. However, as soon as we separate this from the steering wheel is going to go floppy and lock. Now, we know we've got the steering wheel turned to about the 7 to 8 o'clock position, so it's probably going to turn down towards the 6 o'clock position, which is fine. We'll just have to turn it clockwise to bring it up. If you turn it all the way counterclockwise, your steering angle sensor is going to be off, and we don't want that. So now how I've hung this is I've used a zip tie to hold it in a position. If you follow my steps and instructions in this video, I'm going to show you how to do this without needing an alignment of the wheel. We're not changing anything on the front end, so we're not going to need a front end alignment at all. Just an alignment of the steering wheel. There's really not a good way to mark this shaft, so you just got to remember how it disassembled and how to put it back together. This is a very forgiving system. If you disassemble it with the steering wheel at the 12 o'clock position, you'll be able to reinsert this shaft and make the steering wheel square without doing anything to the front end or having to align your steering wheel. Turning the steering wheel so it allows that gap to be pointed straight at you allows you to stick your air hammer or your chisel up in there to open up the gap. Prior to removing the intermediate shaft collar, we're going to open it up, but we're going to turn the steering wheel back so we can open that one. Don't worry, it won't slip on the gear. We do not have to worry about opening the gap on the bottom position because we're going to use a hammer and a punch to knock it off. Now, once all 3 bolts are removed, you want to turn the steering wheel back to the 12 o'clock position before removing any of the knuckles. You're going to avoid a complication that I created for myself by not doing that, by turning it to the 12 o'clock position and keeping it straight. So now, if we come from this angle, we can see that shaft. We can knock that shaft backwards this way with our air hammer, probably knock it off with the steering knuckle itself. It doesn't matter where you knock this U-joint off at. You can hit it in the center of the shaft, the U-joint of the shaft, wherever it knocks off easiest. Don't overthink it. It's not rocket science. Kind of hard to tell, but I knocked that sucker off there from right down here. By opening that up first, it allowed that collar to slide up on that shaft as I knocked the bottom off. Now, before you start getting ahead of yourself, make sure you just can't pull that sucker right off like I did right there, which is literally how I got it off. Now, we can pretty much tell it's U-joint. It will flip and flop this way, but it won't go at all like this. So she's no Quarto no mo. Now we can see where our bolt travels through that yoke. I wish, hindsight being 2020, I should have got a new one of these, but I didn't know. It's the first time I ever did this crap. Clearly, using my 12-point socket like I informed you not to, I stripped the head of this bolt off. But we're going to get this out, and I'm going to show you what size bolt this is so you can replace it if you do the same thing. And because this is rounded off, I'll put some links to these down here. I set it in front of my heater for a little while. Kind of tell it's smoking. I'm going to loosen this sucker up. Yep, a little bit of heat goes a long way. You can get you a propane torch I'm not going to quite touch this bolt yet. But, ooh, the whole thing is hot now. So we'll let this cool down and we'll get this shaft off of here and be able to put it on the other one. Okay, so now we can set it down on its side like this, and this will give us an idea of where this stuff needs to go. And if I were you, I would just shoot a picture, save it so you can line it up, and we can go from there. I want to set them side by side so you make sure that they're identical. However, it's not necessary if you follow the instructions to line this thing up, because we're going to put it back exactly the way it went back on, and we're not going to have any issues with our steering wheel. It is fairly easy to tell where this goes, because the flat diameter on the inside of this is the same diameter as that. So I'm not too worried about getting it close. And if I put the opening of that in the center of the notch there, I do want to leave the bolts out of it so I can move it up and down the shaft. We're going to insert it down through here. We are going to bring it up here and make sure that the front portion of it goes down in our window near that shaft there. The bolts are 8 by 1.25, and they are of an overall distance underneath the head of 30 millimeters. You need hardened bolts. This is not hardened. You can tell what's hardened by the cap. It'll say 10.9 or 12.0, and I would say at least a 10. Should be able to get it at your local hardware store though. Now I'm gonna use a flex Allen head bolt because it's a class 12 bolt. Them are 6 millimeter. Them are 6 millimeter. That's an 8 millimeter. And that's what we're looking for. 8 millimeter, 1.25 by 30. It doesn't have to look identical to this bolt, because you're probably not going to find that shank missing there. Just use a lock washer just like they did here. And it looks, well, yep. See, that lock washer is pretty flat. For reassembly, I'm going to turn the steering wheel straight, and then I'm going to assemble the intermediate shaft. If you move your front steering wheel like your rotor there, it will turn the steering gear and throw everything off. Before reinstallation of your intermediate shaft, look down in the barrel and make sure that the shaft will slide up in there past that washer. I did open that up just a little bit. Using your camera phone, look up in there and make sure that your shaft is going on straight. You're going to do this upper one first, and then you're going to slide it onto the lower portion of the intermediate shaft, and it should slide on where the bolts are pointed at you, not like I'm doing it here because I'm fucking it up. That should be just right. Now I'll get that to slide up the shaft with 2 arms. Keep in mind, I do have the shafts almost making contact with one another. Now that should allow me to be able to slip that onto there. Now we've got that connected back on there. We just want to make sure that this did not slide down too far, and we don't need to slide the collar from there. So we'll even this up a little bit by sliding this collar down, or at least that's the hopes. Something like that. Then we can stick our bolts in here, tighten everything up just like we loosened it, and we're good to go, bro. The first bolt we're gonna stick in before we start adjusting everything is this bottom knuckle bolt. We should be able to stick that through and feel the hole. If you can't feel the hole, you're gonna have bigger problems than this later on in the future. Meaning you won't be able to make babies because you can't find the hole. That's a you problem, not a me problem. Now you can just slide this back and forth, and obviously, no, you can't see what I'm telling you, but if it needs to move to get it to go down the hole, well, that's what you're supposed to do anyway. Okay, so I've snugged up these ones, and I'm gonna turn it so I can tighten up that bottom one down there on the steering gear. Now when I turn it, I do have the bolt rested and started in the threads down here on the very bottom one. And this front end should turn with that one. And there we go. Our bolt is pointed in a position that we should be able to tighten it up. The only problem was the Asian kids put in a 13 millimeter head bolt instead of 12, so we had to compensate for that. Well, everything works great. However, my steering wheel is turned like that when it's going straight. So we're gonna fix that. If you followed my instructions in the video, it won't be necessary to watch this part, but if your steering wheel is off, I'm gonna show you how to fix that like mine was. Leaving my wheels straightened out, I'm gonna attempt to get up here on the lower portion bolt because you have to remove the whole shaft to get it off of here. And I just want to remove the lower portion bolt, and that's a 12 millimeter. So I'm going to try to loosen it up. It should be pointed up at the straight part. Now that I'm looking at this, these bolts originally were straight on when the wheel was turned straight. So when I take this apart, as long as these bolts are pointed straight at me and not cocked up like this, it should be straight on the knuckle. Okay, I got the bolt out, and how I did that was I came from up underneath here with this arm, and I went from underneath right here with this arm, and I was able to get on that bolt. Now, I've squeezed that back together, so I'm probably gonna have to knock it off with the air hammer. Now, I did end up having to knock it off with the air hammer, but now all I gotta do is make sure that this is straight, just like that. I'll mentally reference the position of my bolts right here, and when I put that lower portion on, that should still be lined up that way. Well, I hope you folks enjoyed that video and you got your stuff fixed. If you did, please hit the super thanks. I can't make these videos for free, and they only pay 0.2 of a cent per view. If you can't do that, at nighttime, turn the volume down, put on one of the sweet Clayway playlists, and let them suckers play from front to back. And if you've never thought about it, if you do that in your garage at nighttime, people are going to think somebody's in there working. So having the volume up at nighttime inside your garage, good way to save your tools. Like I said before, my name's Clay with YouTube The Clayway here in Western Grand Rapids, Muskegon, Michigan. If this video was helpful, please consider subscribing, clicking the notification, sharing my videos, leaving me them sweet old thumbs up, posting a crappy comment down below. That even works too. Remember, don't be the next to them, be the absolute first of you, and if anyone else can do it, you can do it too. God bless, folks. Have the greatest of days.